There's a fire inside and I just can't hide it. There's a fire inside and I just can't fight it. Ooh. You know I'm coming for you. There's a feeling inside, let it take it over. The past is in the past, wipe it off my shoulder. Ooh. You know I'm coming for you.
No,
that's
because it's so much more fun.
Alright, the snacks have arrived. Brad's been to the kiddies menu at McDonald's and got McNuggets.
At least they've cooked. The other thing I'm going to take, I'm going to throw in there.
But that one's not working.
No, that one's working fine, but I'll blame that on the missus, mate.
Alright, just hang on, we'll just do a quick quality check. Everyone, Gary, stop eating the snacks! Oh my god!
It's like children again, isn't it? They cooked? Beauty.
This is
You're not
difficult.
going to die from that.
This is difficult.
Just got to stop doing this. We win.
Suppose I should check that the microphones are all plugged in and working.
Why not?
Plugged.
Rest them.
I haven't got an armrest.
Rest them on mine.
No, you'll eat them.
Test.
Not that
Test.
silly.
Alright.
Oh, we're missing one.
Missing the special guest star.
She just had to guzzle up. All right, good to go.
Spilling her, what do you got?
Rum and ginger beer.
Rum and ginger beer coffee.
Yep.
What? Alright, well last time I got ridiculed for not saying action, so action.
Okay.
Okay?
Hold up. Take one.
Hang on.
We're going to get a clicker board thing.
I haven't got my McNugget yet. There we go.
Should have done that. Gone through Macca's. Oh.
Not very cheesy. Yeah, should have gone to Macca's.
At least it would have been cooked.
Alright, welcome to episode number 3 of Snackchat with our special guest star in this episode, Holly, at the end there.
Hi. Thanks for coming.
Roped her into an episode. So, we'll kick off. Brad, you've got a question for us, haven't you?
I do.
You do? What's the question?
I did.
You did?
Come up with a
I've
pearler.
got the answer too. The answer is because.
Yeah. My question is, what got you into four-wheel driving? What started you in four-wheel driving?
Okay. Sorry.
No, you drive a Jeep. A key did not start you.
No, I did.
She started giggling already, and you know it's just not going to
No, she's,
Well, mine's not approved. You won't approve of my reason.
be. Doesn't matter.
that does not matter.
No, look,
Okay.
in all seriousness, I can jump on that. That's really easy for me.
This is with the old video. Gary, go. Gary, go.
No, look, seriously, no, it is really easy. My parents, back in the day, like, and I'm talking way back in the day, on early 60s, were mad keen campers, four-wheel drivers, and like, okay, this is aging me.
Did they have four-wheel drives in the 1860s?
Yes, they not the 1860s.
Steam-powered ones, weren't
The
they?
1860s, mate, the 1960s.
Hey, someone joined the 4x4 tracks page the other day with an 1885
That's right, I remember seeing
Nissan
that.
Patrol. So
Gary knows all about that when he drove that with his first car.
Probably.
Straight off the showroom floor.
But yeah, no, from the time I was probably 5 or 6 years old, back in the early 60s, parents were into four-wheel driving, and it's just been a natural progression. I think since the time I was old enough to have a car, I either had a four-wheel drive myself or I had access to a four-wheel drive, whether it be one of Dad's collection or one of my own. So it's just been forever for me.
Oop.
Right. Well, mine would be, and I probably gave it away a little bit on the last snack chat, apart from in my younger years the odd little bit of four-wheel driving with friends and family, never actually owned my own four-wheel drive until I bought that Jeep. And it was a second thought that it actually would go off-road. So literally about, 6 years ago, I started seriously four-wheel driving, bought the Jeep, thought, this goes off-road. So I took it up to Lancelin, and as I've said,
The repairs have started.
as I've said before, things started falling off of it, and I started spending money on it, and here I am today, about to sell it and buy a new one.
I've already bought a new one now.
That's
You
right.
gotta sell
So
that.
yeah, I took it off road and I loved it. It was great fun feeling to be off road, driving around in sand up and down hills. The challenges got better and better as I got more confident. Scared me a little bit to start with, but as try and keep going on. You get a little bit better and a little bit more confidence. And
Now what he does scares me.
that's right. So that's how I got into four-wheel driving.
Here
Holly,
we go.
you're up.
That'd be me. So I've always camped ever since I was a kid. As a young adult, always loved camping, but the actual four-wheel driving only came in the last I've had cricket for probably near on 18 months. On a waiting list for 8 months before that. And before that, I started watching YouTube videos of four-wheel driving with my husband. He started playing them just out of interest. And next thing you
Were we
know,
one of them?
no,
Probably not.
No. Ah, Adam, come on, dude. What's going on, mate? Come on.
it was one of the very large four-wheel driving.
Come on, we know who it is.
Ah, really? So we learned nothing. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
well-
His name doesn't start with Ronnie and finish with Dale, does it? No?
Dales, we don't find camp.
No, that's right.
Ronnie Dahl was probably number 2, but it was the old four-wheel drive action that got us hooked to
okay.
begin with.
How to break stuff.
When it was
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, Ruthie and
Did I say
Well, it
that?
was-
Sorry.
So that's probably what got me first interested in it. But then obviously just the camping and everything else got me hooked. And the fun.
So, when
hanging out with us, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's what it
you
is,
guys.
yeah.
Sorry?
When are you actually going to buy a four-wheel drive?
Oh,
I've been told I'm not allowed to swear.
that's a low blow.
No, he's got a beeper thingy. It's great. Go nuts. It's Gary. He has to with Gary.
hang on.
To be honest, I actually love them and they are very capable.
I was going to say from
I
day
just like
one, you've
taking
told me my car is more capable than I think. So
Yeah, no, it is.
yeah.
They're a great vehicle.
It means you keep following us, you silly bugger.
That's true. And I think it's like it's just the community that's kept me going. Like I've got a few friends at four-wheel drive, but it's meeting all the other people that just keeps you interested in doing it.
And it's listening to there's a bog hole, let's drive through it.
Oh,
It's not that deep.
Oh, it smells.
yeah, once again, we followed Paul.
That's right.
Bring on the Hilux, I say, because he's going to drive around every bit of dirt that he can for a
Absolutely.
while.
It won't even go into four-wheel drive.
Yeah. You go, oh, gravel? No, we don't. Might scratch the underbelly. Yeah,
Pavement princess.
yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
22-inch rims. Yeah.
And
Anyway,
I had this off-road before it had any bar work on it. So if you're not going off-road properly with yours, it's disappointing.
It will go off-road.
well, mine's pretty simple. Mine was actually probably going back 20 years. My partner at the time, her parents were big into travelling and things like that, had Toyotas from day and dot. You know, they did the Cape York and Canning Stock route and all that sort of stuff. And her uncle had a property up in Innaloo with a big block where IKEA is now, and he used to buy and sell mine spec cars, and he'd get them out of the mines and clean them up and sell them. And he took me for a run in a Hilux one time up the side of this hill. I thought, this is pretty good fun. And from then and them going away, and I did the first night with them out on their Cape York trip, I think it was, in a EL Falcon sedan. So drove out to Southern Cross and camped the night and came back. I thought, this is pretty good. So ditched the EL Falcon and ended up with a 1985 Mitsubishi Pajero long wheelbase.
Probably better off with the Falcon.
Yeah, no, the little 2.3 turbo diesel was great until it blew up. But anyway, and it basically just grew from then, and haven't had any money since.
That's pretty much it, isn't it?
Yeah, early, be 20s, 21, 22, something like that, and haven't had a cent to rub together since.
I've got to admit the four-wheel driving lifestyle, particularly once you get involved in it, is quite costly.
Heck yeah.
What do they say?
There's
You
always
spend
something, isn't it?
You spend a fortune to live like a homeless person.
If you're not fixing something, you're buying something that you want new.
Yeah, it's a tough ask. Yeah, I'm going to save up for X, Y, Z, and then gee, the truck broke, so I got to buy that. Then I'm still going to buy that anyway.
Yeah.
And then you buy a credit card and Zip and they're all wonderful things.
Afterpay. Yeah.
Afterpay, they're all great. Four-wheel drive industries love those sort of things.
I don't use any of that afterpay shit.
No.
Just keeps me broke.
Yes, that's right.
Keeps me broke.
Well, someone earns too much money, clearly. Yeah, no.
That's right. We did not mention what snacks we have for this episode. We have some cheesy chicken.
It's because they're a little pathetic.
Hang on, Brad, go and
I'll go get the others. You might have to come over to my car and.
Chopping board.
Truth be told, I actually completely forgot to bring any snacks for this episode. So Brad kindly brought some nuggets, and he's got in the oven. What are they?
Oh, geez, you're a kiss ass.
What are those things you got in the oven?
Spinach and ricotta
Pastry
things. They've been in there for about 2
They've been
hours.
there for about 2 hours and they're still nowhere near ready.
9 o'clock tonight.
So we brought some ring-ins, some chicken crimpy biscuits and some original Smith's chips. So
You tied us. Not even
the
a
hell?
flavoured one.
not even barbecue. I would have bought my barbecue packet out, but it's only that big.
Oh, so now he's brought chips. He had nothing apparently. Yeah.
Truth be told, I actually didn't buy them. They're left in the car from last trip. Last weekend.
So am I.
Their use-by date was back in July 2020.
They're cheaper that way.
All right.
No, I drive a Jeep. I've always got to carry some sort of food because you just never know. Even on the way home from work, you could be there a while.
Survival pack and a can of beans under the seat, yeah. Which doubles as a handbrake when you get it. All right, I have a question, and Holly's already slightly touched on the subject. So my question is one of those usual ones that often gets asked on campfire chats, and that's who do you follow and watch and get inspired by on YouTube?
Perth 4wding Adventures.
There you go. So
Oh,
you
that
don't
was-
need to go anywhere else.
Can we just get rid of that? That's horrible.
it. And we have not paid her a cent.
We won't be now because that was just.
Or as my friend calls you, Perth 4beef-hour Adventures.
Yeah. Well, he's your friend.
You got some fun friends, haven't you? Eh?
In all seriousness, who else do you watch on YouTube?
You didn't even watch our stuff. What are you talking about? Anyone else?
Oh, no, I do, of course. Ronnie, Harry, from Fighter Fork, Full Drive Action, just for a laugh. Built Up Board, occasionally, doesn't put out that much stuff anymore. I'm not sure what else.
Brad?
I don't watch a great deal because I can't have a life.
That's rubbish. He spends every morning at work watching YouTube.
Only 3 hours a day, and that's in between coffee breaks. No, I watch our stuff. I sort of flick around. I watched a bit of what's his face, St Pierre White. What is his name?
Andrew
St Pierre White. I've been watching a bit of that with his troopy build. Can be pretty hard to get through sometimes with some of the stuff, but yeah, it'll depend on what we've got planned coming up as to what I'll watch. If we've got a trip planned up north or whatever like that, then I'll Google videos and then I'll watch them, whether that be Ronnie. Yeah, I've watched some of Harry's stuff. I'm not into the big cooking thing because, I just char grill a steak or something like that. I'm not into that. So, but I watched his Prado build and things like that. Bit of Taylor. Some of his, yeah.
Oh, Taylor, no. Okay, I'm with you.
He brought him along. Can we just edit that out? Just put a blank there. Yeah, watch a bit of the Wacker Boys. Just depends, like I said, like when we started doing the Horrocks trip, I watched the Wacker Boys trip up there. That was pretty cool, So yeah, I watch it more for when we've got a trip on or something like that. I'll watch 3 or 4 different videos of that area to know where we're at or where we're going and things like that. So.
Okay. Yes?
Yeah, well, see, I try and keep myself occupied at work, so I watch a fair bit of YouTube. I think I've watched pretty much everyone with a YouTube channel, but the guys that I watch reasonably regularly is shout out for Pete, WA Camping Adventures. I tend to like a lot of the stuff that Pete does. I think he's a crack up. He fractures me. I'm not sure exactly how many ways you can cook a steak, Pete, but fair
Giving it a shot.
every week.
And one of these days he's going to cook us one, aren't you, Pete?
But look, that aside, yes, I do watch a lot of Ronnie's, particularly his trip videos.
Definitely.
I got to admit, there's horses for courses with some of the others. I watch a little bit of Harry's. Watching Harry cook is absolutely pointless because I'm a religious cook. Bird offerings or a total sacrifice. Because fair dinkum, if it's brown, it's beauty. If it's black, it's buggered. That's how I work.
And you'll still eat it, so it don't matter.
Hey, this thing eats anything. But I do watch a little bit of Harry. Andrew St Pierre White, I watch most of what he does simply because Andrew is an opinionated guy that's been around for a long time, very much reminds me of myself. But I like the effort Andrew puts in. He's been there, done that. Whether you like him or not, he knows his stuff, which is why I actually like looking at it, because you can learn something. I'm way north of 60, which is not really good, but I still learn shit from Andrew's channels. And I think that's awesome. If you can get content out there that educates people, I think that's a really, really good thing. But other than that, there's a set of guys, I can't think of their name right off the top of my head, young set of brothers work out of Victoria. One of them drives a Troopy, the other one's in a Nissan Patrol tray top.
That narrows it down a bit.
Yeah, well,
That's not Aussie,
I know
Aussie four-wheelers?
I know it's a
No.
little bit vague, and I'm sorry, it's just like their name escapes me. Here's me old age catching up.
Yeah, that's what you call it.
Those guys are actually really interesting to watch because, yeah, they go hard. Yes, they do hard tracks, but what I like about them is they don't do stupid shit and they actually respect the tracks and respect the bush, which is a real bonus for young guys because you see a lot of stuff, particularly from probably the major channel here, that really doesn't give the best persona to people that are going out forward driving. Everyone thinks it's jump in there, hit the hardest track you can and send it, and that's what they put on YouTube because it drags in the viewers and it drags in the likes and it drags in the money. I'm not into that at all. So yeah, they're the guys that I watch mostly.
I think that's had its day.
Mate,
The Send It crew on YouTube, because you see those channels, they're not getting any views anymore.
Mate, they're still the biggest channels out and about.
They do still get it, but I think people are getting the point where you can't just keep doing that time and time again because it's going to cost a fortune.
Yeah, well,
so they get the tide has turned and they're not watching it. They're watching the guys that are actually going to a destination or doing something or trialling something. You know, and yeah, you still get four-wheel drive action, but you know they do 3 tracks a year. You know, so. But yeah, I think that the smaller channels that just go out and hammer it, they're losing views, they're losing everything because people just realise they can't keep doing that every day, you know. And they don't last long because their vehicle's eventually going to have to die. I mean, we've had enough problems with reliability on ours and we don't go anywhere near the hard stuff.
With what you're saying there, and sorry I won't drag this one out, one of the other ones that I'll watch at the minute is Sidetracked. And their current series is down in Tasmania and absolutely flogging their vehicles to death on the $1,000 track because that's just horrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they can actually make it to the other end of that track and what damages that brings. But, anyway, Paul.
Well, mine will be the 2 most down-to-earth guys that I like to watch would be Cam Wild Touring and Pete from WA Camping Adventures. I think the trips that they do are things that everybody can do. They're down to earth. They're not so focused on the hardcore 4-wheel driving. It's all about the direction that we want to go, the trip, the camaraderie and the destination. So I think those 2 guys are the top of my list. Ronnie Dahl, basically he's the one that inspired me to do what I do today. I don't kind of get too much into his how-to videos and what-to videos and this versus that and that versus something else. I like his trip videos. I think they are awesome. He's got the money to be able to have the camera crew that really brings that to you, and some of the destinations he gets to are fantastic. Harry fired a fork. I don't mind a steak sandwich every now and then with cheese and bacon, Harry. Not that Harry would watch this, but yeah, don't forget the cheese.
Well, you'll find out because he would give you a rude reply. Drop a comment, right. Harry, if you're watching it. Have a go at him.
There's a guy in BC up in Canada at the moment that I like to watch the story till now. Yeah. He's got a Gladiator and his friends have got Gladiators and Jeeps, and there's a few Toyotas in the pack as well. And some of the places they get to are just absolutely amazing. The scenery is just next level. The only trouble with it is it seems to be the same stuff each episode. So while it's really fantastic to watch, it's starting to get a bit repetitive, but you know, to have that in your backyard, that is just awesome. So I really like to watch that. Like to support a few of the smaller channels, the Guesties Adventures, those sorts of people, just to help them along and watch what they're up to, and that would pretty much be it. G'day guys, future me popping in with the dogs just to kind of redeem myself. I must apologise to the following people and to you because the sun's just up there and in my eyes. When discussing this question at camp, and it may have been the excessive amount of ginger beers we'd consumed that afternoon, but my mind went completely blank when it came to talking about the not so big channels, and I do apologise to the people that I do watch, because I do think it's important to acknowledge the smaller channels, that we all stick together, and you know, we're up against some pretty big numbers with the bigger channels. So without further ado, I would like to acknowledge Shuey's Adventures. How could I forget you, Martin? We bounce things off each other all the time. We're talking and chatting quite regularly. We've even done a collab together. So great channel, Martin, Shuey's Adventures. In-store videos, honest reviews and trip videos. Don't know how I could forget that, but never mind. As I said, my mind went completely blank. Another one, Steve, Mud Ducks, 4-wheel drive touring over there in New South Wales. Steve and Kaz, I watch all their adventure videos. Great channel to watch. And another one, Nathan, who's probably not so small anymore. I had a look at your numbers recently, Nathan, and you have grown quite substantially since the last time I checked your subscriber quantity. But he's got a great channel too, some great trip videos with himself and his family, more honest reviews and how-to videos, exploring Oz. So that's another one that I watch. And a couple of others would be Graham Reinders, Great Off-Road Adventures, 4x4 Camping and Adventures. So they're just some of the slightly smaller channels that I do watch, and I do apologise, guys, because as I said, my mind went completely blank. But never mind, there you go. I think I've redeemed myself, so back to the regular viewing. And another one I like to watch is Andrew St Pierre White. I mean, even when he's just driving along, yabbering into a camera, he's very informative with what he says. He doesn't do too much hardcore four-wheel driving, but his builds and everything else, he's a very informative bloke. Yeah,
well, with Andrew, and I kind of touched on it before, whether you agree with him or whether you don't, what Andrew brings is education. He's very opinionated, but you need to respect that opinion because he's been around for such a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it comes with experience, and long and the short of it, the guy knows his stuff.
Yeah, he does.
And he's very, very good at what he does.
Yep.
Yeah, when I was first starting out, I watched one of his videos and he said, just do the safe thing. If you've got a 4-wheel drive and you're on a dirt road, put it in 4-wheel drive. Don't hang around in 2-wheel drive, and drop your tyre pressures. And in cricket, if I don't do that, I'm sideways into a tree. I have to drop my tyre pressures every time I get on gravel. Yep. And that might hold up the group, but that's what's safest for me, and I'm going to do it every time.
Drop your tyre pressures and put it into 4-wheel drive. It's not hard.
Why not?
It saves your vehicle, but what's more, that can save your life.
Exactly.
And again, like I say, people go, she'd be right, 2-wheel drive, happy days, I can drive down here at 100 kilometres an hour. It's all good until it's not.
You know, it was funny because
it's not good for the track either.
Even Brad mentioned it today. I mean, we just did a trip into Stockyard Gully Cave. Now there is a 4-wheel drive track into that place, and there's a gravel road. Did we see one person drop their tyre pressures and pump their tyres back up?
Straight up.
No, everybody in and out of there, full tyre pressures.
Well, actually, that's not true because I've seen 3 others do it. That was you. But you're right. Everyone just went steaming on by, and you think, like, it takes 5 minutes.
And it preserves
if it's a race,
that's right.
But if it's a race, you're in the wrong game.
Yeah, that's right.
You know? Go out, spend 5 minutes, drop your tyres a little bit, drive through. Everyone's happy days. It's safe. It makes it more comfortable. It's just an easier ride. It's a safer ride. And it takes you 2 minutes on the way back out again.
Absolutely, and as I said to Brad, it's the difference between my tyres on that Jeep. I've got 67,000 Ks out of them so far, and they're only just over half worn. Yeah. Whereas if you're not looking after your tyres, I reckon you struggle to get 80 out of them.
Oh, 50.
Yeah.
50.
Well, some people even whinge and carry on. Oh, those tyres are shit. They didn't last me very long.
Yeah.
Well, you know, look after them.
I've had my tyres on and they're muddies. I've had my tyres on for 2 years. I do 700 kilometres a week to and from work and around.
Yep.
And for 2 years I've had them and they're still more than 50%.
Yep. Wow. Balance, rotate, wheel alignment, pressures.
Balance, rotate, okay, fair enough. We do take advantage of our sponsors. Good on you, Integrity Tyres.
That's right.
So, you know, like the expense really isn't there for that sort of stuff. But yeah, the wheel alignment, the rotate, the balance, and we do that quite regularly. And mate, the tyres have been fantastic.
So how often do you do that? Because I've actually never rotated
every
mine.
month.
What, you do it every month?
Every month.
With how much we go off-road too, we also go a lot.
I rotate them every service, which is just under 10,000 in the petrol. But as far as the balance and bits and pieces, every month.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'd just go down and see the guys at Integrity and go, Michelle, can you do that? Happy days.
Yeah,
right.
basically, if you did a
10 minutes.
rotating and wheel alignment every time you service a car, every 10,000 cars, that'll make a huge difference. We have to do
It'll
it a lot
handle
more.
better,
because
your
the amount we
tyres
do,
will last
so.
a lot longer, everything. Just
Like, I'm not saying that for the average Joe that's going to be paying, $40, $50 a month to get the tyres balanced. And like I say, they're a supporter of the channel. So it's nowhere near that expensive, but that's what I do.
Yeah.
And if I was paying for it myself, I'd do it every service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every single service, I would include that in the service because it gives you longevity out of your tyres, right? And it just makes for a nicer ride.
Oh.
all right, cool. We
See,
can-
my question that I was going to throw out there is, what's the meaning of life?
oh.
Isn't this the meaning?
we look at you guys and we wonder why.
Yeah, well,
Justifiable homicide and all that,
I was the best advertisement for the pill back in the 60s that there ever was.
That's right. And on that note, I reckon we should wrap this episode
I think
up.
so, very quickly.
I think so, yeah, very quickly. So if you've made it this far, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe. If you want to become a Patreon, head over there and support us on Patreon. And apart from that, we'll see you on our next adventure.
Sorry, and I think this week's Patreon will have some very special footage.
Will it?
I think so. Did we get the special footage of Holly setting up the tent?
No, I don't think we did.
Damn. In that case,
Have you setting up your swag?
All right, guys, catch you on our next adventure.
see you.
See you guys.
Yeah.
I was born in the river and the river was wild, washed by the water. I've been baptized. Out of the ashes I'm rising like a phoenix. If you try to arm me back, you better believe that I'm catching on fire. My voice is gasoline. I'm catching on fire like